right, hello and welcome to another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Really excited for you guys to meet today's guest. We have Lynne Goldberg, who is up in very snowy Montreal, Quebec right now, and really excited that she could join us today and share her energy with you guys. And she is the founder of Breathe and is a meditation teacher and an author and just an all-around really positive energy. I came across her Instagram page and I loved just the feeling that I got while being there, knowing that she wants to uplift anybody that comes across the things that she's sharing, and just excited for her to share a little bit more with you guys today. And so without further ado from me, I want to introduce you guys to Lynne. And Lynne, if you could just share with everybody who you are, what you do, and why you do it and all that good stuff so that everyone can be more familiar with you.
Great. So I became a meditation teacher actually when I started meditating after a series of really horrible life events. And I had been pregnant with twin girls that I lost in my third trimester. I had been in this business and I ended up losing my job. And so I lost my career and my family, and then I ended up getting divorced. And so I was completely stressed out, type A, and needed some form of coping skill other than like my drug of choice, which at the time was Chardonnay. So I was self-medicating on a regular basis and I was feeling pretty crappy. And someone actually who had been my mom's doctor had introduced her to meditation while she had been sick in the hospital. And I had tried it, but I had been more like I'd call it an emergency meditator, at 3 a.m. when I woke up, as opposed to on a regular basis. And so I felt like this was something that helped me, and I became much more practiced at it. And then decided that the benefits that I was getting from meditation were too important for me to keep to myself. So I studied to become a teacher and realized that, again, me teaching just one person at a time wasn't enough. So my goal was to see how I could reach as many people as possible. And first I started just teaching in schools. I thought if we could help kids learn to meditate, then they could avoid, all this stuff that we go through as adults, thinking that we're somehow not enough and feeling that we're, that we're so stressed. And it was a really important thing for me to reach children. And then as I kept training teachers to train children, they kept asking me for take-home materials. So I thought, okay, like what can I do? How can I give them something that they could do at home? And my husband was in the technology business. And so I said, do you think you can help me somehow? Do you think we could put together like some tapes or something? And he's like, it's called an app. So that's how we launched the app. And, it's just been amazing. We have close to 5 million people right now that we're helping. And it's just a very uplifting feeling.
That is awesome. Awesome. And I love, Lynne, how you pointed out, which I love to just help people become even more aware of, that, it's the challenging times in life a lot of times are what really, spark the new desires and, really take us to the path that we are currently on. And so we're all going to have those challenging experiences. And I love that you were so willing to share right off the bat, and then what kind of led you to being open for something to come in your life to help you through that, which ultimately became meditation for you, which is fantastic. When I discovered that you were a meditation teacher when I was on your page, I just thought the timing was perfect. I was just inspired to reach out because I've noticed a lot of the guests that I've had on, without me knowing this prior to talking to them, being the first conversation that I have with them, like I'm having with you now, they mentioned, meditation being an important part of their life really early on in the conversation. I mean, you could tell that it was very beneficial for them. So I love that you just went right into, you applying it for yourself, seeing, the benefits for you, but then also wanting to share this on a larger scale. And now, wow, being in front of 5 million, plus people, that is awesome. That has to be right now so fulfilling I'm sure you hear stories, quite a bit as far as whatever channels you have open for people to to give their appreciation to you. I'm sure you're probably hearing lots of cool feedback over the time that you've been doing. How long have you been doing the app to build it to that size?
It's relatively new. I would say we're 4+ years in, so it's pretty
Okay.
exciting. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Getting some cool stories, some people that are appreciating you for kind of helping them on their journey.
I had one teacher that said to me a long time ago, this yoga stuff really works. And it really does. And she said it a little bit more crudely, but, I thought, it's not me. This isn't, my app. This is something, these are timeless traditions that we've made very, very palatable for people to be able to have access to. Because one of the things that I found when I was starting out was that some of my teachers and some of the things that I learned I wasn't ready for them. It was a bit too woo for me at a certain time because, there's the expression when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, sometimes you get somebody that's too advanced for you. And what was important to us was making sure that the way that we traditions. And so, yes, we've had many, many people say that they never thought that they could meditate, or they never felt that they could have the peace and calm that they've been able to experience. And so that's very, very exciting. But of course, that's nothing to do with us. That's just this stuff really works.
I love that. You've just allowed yourself to be the vessel to flow this timeless information to people. And I love what you just said, just reminding us that, when the student is ready, the teacher is, will appear. I've had to learn that just as I've, just like to share and like to, be a benefit of anybody that comes into my path. I say I have an agreement with the universe. If, people are attracted into my path, whether it be a quick conversation or more, I'm just ready to share. And I got to that point because I wanted to share with everybody that may or may not even been ready to receive. And, in those times, it just, just all, right over the head and not very welcomed for me, just, sharing without people actually asking. So I like how you put that. And to make it simple enough for people, because meditating can be, as you know, intimidating for people that they've never done it, thinking that, those people are meditators, and I don't know if I could do that. Do you have any advice? Because the Breathe app, we're going to make sure that it's very easy for people to link this and to download the app, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that want to experience what you've created. Any quick advice for someone that might be a little intimidated about meditating to be able to kind of start their process, or just experience the app? You probably have it set up that way as well.
So I would say that, if I could learn to meditate, anyone could learn to meditate, because I am, the living proof that a type A crazy person can actually find calm and peace of mind. So we really feel very strongly. I knew what blocks I had. And so when we were designing the app, we wanted to make sure that it was done so that things that are normally stumbling blocks for people were addressed. So for example, most people say they don't have enough time. That's probably the biggest complaint that people say when they say that they haven't been able to learn to meditate. So right off the bat, we set the alarm off. We set the app up with an alarm function, so that you just set an alarm and it goes right into your meditation. So you can wake up in the morning and boom, right away you start. Second thing we did that was really useful, because it was such an issue for me, was my teacher, the first time I ever meditated, he sat us down and he's like, okay, half an hour, and that was it. And there was no instruction, there was nothing. It was just like silence. And the silence was very, very, very noisy, because of course my mind was so active and it was so painful. And no one explained to me that that was normal, and that, like everything else, our attention muscle needs to be developed. So what we did was we started people off with 10 minutes, and we slowly, incrementally built up that attention muscle and gave them a lot of reassurance and we touch base with people. We start them off with a bit of music, and as this grows, we take away the music, we increase the silences, and we just slowly develop that attention muscle over time, so that instead of going to the gym and trying to lift a huge weight, we've made it easy for people to build up to it.
That's so good. And I love what you said as far as having the alarm. I've never heard about it before, but it's so, my recommendation to everyone always is, because when we're sleeping, even if we went to bed, which I don't highly recommend, like frustrated or worried about things to where we're not in that comfortable of an energy, might be hard to fall asleep if that's the energy that you go to bed in. You guys know that out there listening, I'm sure. But even when we first wake up, like when we're actual sleep, we don't have that resistance unless we choose to start thinking about the things right when we wake up that were frustrating us yesterday, before we went to bed. So the fact that you can set an alarm and, immediately your first attention can be on, being in meditation is an amazing place to set any of our, like for me, I wake up and immediately find anything to appreciate so I can set my energy on appreciation. Normally go to the bathroom, have a glass of water, then I meditate. So it's like within like 5 minutes of me waking up. But the fact that you
We
can.
follow our recommendation. We say RPM, arise, P, meditate. So that's it.
I don't think that was some. I think that was my body told me this is the way you're going to do it, Noel. Oh my gosh, that's really really good. I love this. So I'm excited to use your app. And so, how long does it get then as you take away the music? And I'm curious, like, what are like the longest meditations that you guys do? Because I don't personally, I don't. I've done some really long ones. I've gone to some meditation retreats where, like, I've done like a 4 hour meditation at a Dr. Joe Dispenza event, which was freaking amazing. But typically, mine are like 15 minutes. He's on your app?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Love
Yeah,
it.
really. Yeah. We start off with 10 minutes and then we allow you to build yourself. So eventually we'll build you up to 20 minutes and then you can go as long as 40 minutes. But we allow you to choose. So you can consistently tweak it and you get the option when you start the meditation. Because some days you just don't have 40 minutes. Some days all you have is 10, 15, 20. So, but we build you up. We don't leave you hanging.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Mine average up still, I mean, I've been meditating for years now and it averages about 10, 15 minutes still, just because for me, it's an energy and a feeling that I'm going for. And like, before I get up, I'm feeling amazing, but also I'm in the frequency of, everything that I want to be, do, and have as far as my desires as already manifested now. So I'm like living my day in that frequency. And then when I feel that, then I'm off and running. And that's my only intention for meditating. So if that takes 10 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever it takes, like I'm not getting up until that's achieved. So I love that. Okay, so what are you excited about right now at the time of this recording? What are you excited about as far as any new creations or just continuing to get the word out there for the things you've already created? What are you excited about, Lynn, here at the time of this recording, beginning of 2019?
It's such a great question. There's such a need right now. There's so much polarity in the world, and there's so much uh, friction, let's say. And so, one of the things, of course, that we learn in our meditations is how to see the bigger picture and how to step back and not just come at things from our own perspective, but to see how we can expand that perspective so that we really learn with a sense of curiosity and a sense of wonder to understand others. And, rather than othering, trying to see how we're all pretty much the same. And all of us want to make sure our families are safe, and all of us want to make sure our families are fed. And, we're really all human beings. And so there's a real need for meditation right now, to sort of bridge that gap. And I'm excited as, unfortunately or fortunately, change only happens when there's a rub. Throughout history, there's been like this bird that during the Industrial Revolution was a white bird. And over time, after the Industrial Revolution, it became darker and darker and darker because as there was more and more pollution in the air, it needed to blend in. So it changed because evolutionarily it had no other choice. And so I see our current climate that we're in right now as being an opportunity, a real opportunity for people to recognize that this is not sustainable and we're going to have to come together, and meditation is a beautiful tool to be able to do that with. So that's what I'm excited about.
I love that you said that. You just inspired me so much because, like Lynn said, we are the same energy that we are connecting with while we're in meditation, and when we're feeling really really good, flows to and through us all, and we use that powerful energy to create anything that we choose to create here in this life. And that's why I always like to remind people that when they see people that have created amazing things that maybe they look up to, that have done some cool things with their lives, they have that same energy that they can tap into, that they can flow in any direction that they choose as well. It's not like they're like a special breed of human that only they have access to creating these things. And so my encouragement for everybody is, because of all of our unique life experiences, we've all lived the amount of life that we've lived up until today. And whatever you're out there that you're, maybe something in this world right now is like really, the rub, like you described it, Lynn, maybe it's rubbing you, in a way where you're like, I really want to see that changed. There probably is something there for you that you could go and create that, is a partly aligned with your purpose or whatever you want to call it. But because of your unique life experiences, that desire is the way that it is for you. And you'll be able to create that differently than any of the rest of us could. We might be creating something, similar, but you're going to create it completely different because you're going to bring all of your life experiences and personal desires, and you're going to take that energy that all of us have access to, that's flowing to and through you, and then create something completely unique to you. Which is why it's so much fun for me to share a planet with you, Lynn, and all the 7.6 billion people out there, because we all have lived such different lives, but at the same time we can all create just the same. And so I love that you inspired me to share that. I love for people to just look at themselves in the mirror and say they can be, do, and have anything just like the rest of us can. And then I get to root for whatever they want to create, and people create really cool apps like you've created, and then I get to experience them. And that's what's so much fun to me about being human, is we all play a part and we all matter, and we can all create anything that we want. So
And you touched on something that I really value, which is the idea that we're all here to experience things, as much diversity as possible. So how boring is it when you just do the same old every day? Because Lord knows you do what you know, right? And so if you only do what you know and you don't get to try new things and other places and people and things, then it gets old pretty quickly. So it's fun to be open to that.
I agree. Totally, totally agree. I'm very appreciative now. It wasn't always, because it's challenges are sometimes rough. They're rough for all of us when we're experiencing them. And until you realize, wait a minute, these have actually benefited my life because of, now look at all the directions that I'm going now, the things that I've become aware of. So you're exactly correct with that. It's a question for you. You've already shared a lot of this, but I've been asking everybody that's been a guest this, a similar version of this question that really for me was the reason that I wanted to start sharing on social media, and just anything that I had become aware of up until, now, wanting to share, knowing that tomorrow's not promised to me. I can be at peace knowing that I've shared the things that I've become aware of that could help someone down the road if they came across, any of this information. And that'll be the case because I'll always become more aware, like all of us will, until I'm no longer here, and, just continue to have the desire to share. But for you, you've already shared a lot of cool stuff. Is there anything that you'd love to share with humanity that you've become aware of, that you just know when, whenever someone comes across it, it could potentially impact their lives?
So, such a good question. I feel like I'm using the app like that right now because there's always new content that I'm in a continual stream of creating. I'm so blessed because as I have the opportunity to evolve and have new experiences, I have an outlet to be able to share it with. And it's just, I'm lucky. I'm really, really, really lucky. And I get to meet, like you, I'm sure, lots of really cool people. So again, when they share, I not only have the benefit of their wisdom, but then I also get to experience that in another whole way. So it's exciting. So yeah.
I'm feeling the exact same way as you just described, and you've been creating this for a longer period of time, and I'm already seeing that just because of just the people that are being attracted into my path, like you, Lynn, in this conversation, is just so much fun. Like, because the energy that you're bringing to this conversation is, you know, you're bringing your amazing energy, and then I'm bringing my energy, and then together it's creating a conversation that's never existed before and won't exist this way ever again. And that's just how I look at all experiences now with all, you know, human beings out there, is we're both bringing our, you know, unique, you know, energy, and then together we can create something or experience something that is just unique to that experience. So I love that you said that. Well, really cool. Well, anything that you want to add? I mean, you've already given so much value on this, and I'm excited to experience your app. Everybody out there, my great recommendation is to make sure that you connect with Lynne on social media, and make sure that you follow her on Instagram, and just to stay up to date with everything that she's creating. Because once us as human beings become aware of our energy, knowing that, you know, we're not perfect, and that's not the goal, but we're aware, and we can flow this energy towards anything we want to create. It's just a matter of, you know, I asked Lynne what she was excited about in 2019. She'll still be excited about that in 2020. And in addition, some other things she'll be excited about, and they'll be creating all sorts of things, you know, whether that be inside of the app or, you know, anything else that she chooses. So it's fun for me to be connected with you now, Lynne, and just see what you choose to create. And, you know, I highly recommend everybody out there do the same. But anything else that you want to add on top of all the stuff that you've already shared?
No, but I'm so grateful to meet you and to see what you're up to, and it's just so nice when Instagram friends become real people, and you have the opportunity to really connect and see that there's really a magical community that's built that's beautiful. So thank you for sharing it with me.
Oh my gosh, the pleasure is all mine, all ours. We really appreciate you sharing the things that you shared. I know you've inspired some people listening to this episode to go on and start their meditation journey. And that was really, you know, when I reached out to you, I knew that this conversation would spark some people out there. And I just know what that's done for my life. You know what it's done for your life. And you know, my wish for everybody is that you can, you know, really see the benefits of just tapping into this energy. You know, meditation is a great way to do it. So thank you so much, Lynne, and thank you everybody out there for tuning in, and anyone that popped into your mind while listening to this episode. Really share this episode with them, and it's definitely not by coincidence. There's a reason that they popped in your mind, and they will benefit off of hearing the information that Lynne shared, and you know, that energy will flow back to you whenever you empower another human being. It always feels good in the moment, and that energy will always flow back to you as well. So thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Definitely continue to rate this and review this and share this and do all the things that you know how to do to make it easier for people to find these beautiful episodes. And we'll talk to you guys really, really soon. Have an amazing day out there.